Okay everybody, and welcome back. My name is Ozzy McNugget, and today we are once again carrying on with Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. I have no idea how long this game is going to take. It's definitely a lot longer than I thought it was already. But we will carry on, because I don't feel we're anywhere near finding out who Jack the Ripper actually is. We just seem to be doing errands for everybody else. So we will continue and see where this one takes us. I'm not going to promise that we will finish it in this episode or the next, because who knows how long it's going to take.
This cheap jewel must be an accessory of some sort.
So I'm just going to search the room.
This door was recently reinforced. Impossible to open it.
Before I interact with the body.
This may come in handy.
This may come in handy.
These clothes are new, just like the deceased's dress. I imagine her clothes were changed.
It's like the one that was down by the furnace. Nothing there. It's odd for the amount of clothes.
Look at this photo. It is inscribed Ethel Broomstreet, 1851 to 1878. This young woman who died 10 years ago looks like the one stretched out on this table.
Is that backing music there all of the time? It's a bit distracting. Well, it's not distracting, but it's a bit odd. Souvenir of Liverpool. Pardon me.
This old photo shows a young man dressed after the fashion of an employee in front of a shop.
Prince Alexander Raskolnikov is now in the service of the most humble. His exceptional gifts of divination will allow him to evoke your dearly departed to bring them back to life before your very eyes.
Amusing.
Okay, so
the man in the photo taken in 1883 and the one on Prince Raskolnikov's leaflet are one and the same. And no more a prince or a Russian than you or I, Watson.
So, are they just making up the dead people to look like the relatives? Eyeballs.
Glass eyes in all shapes and all colours.
That's just disgusting.
It's a puzzle box. Let's see if I can open it.
I'm sorry, what? 0. So do I have to make up the number? I have no idea. 4, 3, and 3. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just clicking random buttons. So 6. Let's go for the 4 and 2 up the top and see if... Right, so it has to make the sum. Oh, they want me to make 8 again. 7. 5 and 3. 8.
There we are. Magnificent.
I winged that completely. What's in here?
This square object is very unusual.
Instructions. The body will be taken today or tomorrow by 2 men hired by the boss. They will be identified by a triangle and a square attached by a red ribbon.
This letter speaks of a sign of recognition. Interesting.
So, I can probably build that with the stuff that's in my possession. Yeah, so there's the triangle. Bang that with the square. And then bang that with that. There we go. Okay, let's have a butcher's at what's going on.
Look, Holmes, a label from the London hospital. It must be a corpse stolen from the London hospital.
She looks very well in, like...
Strange smell. What do you think, Watson?
A zinc chloride solution without a doubt. A product generally injected into cadavers to help preserve them.
That's kind of what I was saying, but in better
Some
words.
makeup applicators. Someone made up this corpse. The lips have been coloured and the rings
She
around
looks
the
very
eyes
pretty.
carefully camouflaged. Yes, somebody wanted to give the impression of life.
To what end?
Watson, this corpse was embalmed and made up and dressed to look like a woman who had died 10 years earlier. All is clear, Watson. A charlatan, passing himself as a prince, making the dead come back by using corpses as puppets.
Called it.
Which explains the disappearance of
Can I
corpses
move?
at the London hospital. It was to fuel this sordid entertainment.
Okay, so that's that mystery solved. I have hunted this room. So I feel we should now leave.
Holmes, I hear a cab stopping in the courtyard. Someone's coming.
It is probably the dealers, Watson, but instead of running, what if we were to meet them, if we managed to win their trust?
I can use that necklace.
You are joking, Holmes.
Not at all, Watson. Let's get the amulet out. Really, Watson? Really? A thumbnail. Watson's playing peekaboo. Anyway. Good day, good sir.
Oi, what you doing there, you? It's private in here.
Calm down, we aren't here as tourists. We have come to collect our packet.
Oh, well then, you just had to say. I was told that you weren't no tramps, but I weren't expecting that you was... Given your get-up, I guess your boss.
Yes.
Well, the subject ain't ready yet. I ain't done with it yet. You'll
That's
have to
all
come
right.
back.
Well, that's, a real problem.
Say, we have personal orders too, for some organs. You wouldn't know where we can find them.
What type then?
Kidney, uterus.
Oi, I don't hack up my dollies. That's the work of an artist.
But you wouldn't happen to have a colleague who might furnish this type of item.
No, you can't make a copper doing that nowadays. Since the bigwigs made it easy to get stiffs, the medical schools are bursting with bodies to carve up. Docs and students have got all they need. Business is dead. For a few coppers, hospital bloke might help you out, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
They'd be right in for it if they got caught. It probably just ain't worth it.
I understand. And what do you do with the corpses once you're finished with them?
I don't bother myself with that. But one thing's for sure. After the séance, they're good for nothing but chucking out. I ain't Napoleon's embalmer.
That's just a bit odd, to be quite fair, sir.
Well, if you'll excuse...
You've got a funny way of talking, you.
Oi, it's normal. He's a brain, you see. A thinker at that. Sees you round, old man.
That
So,
was
Holmes, the
quite
corpses
odd.
that have disappeared from the London hospital are used during séances. Nothing to do with organ trafficking.
Yes, it all suggests nothing of the kind is underway in London. In the medical world, all dealings would be visible, not to mention unnecessary.
So-
The crook we met confirmed this viewpoint. It's hard to imagine, therefore, that our Whitechapel killer perpetrated these massacres with the goal of selling the organs.
What lead should we follow now, Holmes?
Try to learn more about Tumblety. This squibby should give us some information, but first I must stop the journalist Tom Bulling from harming him. I hope my secret police will soon have some information on him. While we wait, Watson, I would ask you to inform your colleagues of your recent discoveries. It would be good if these morbid ghostly spectacles stopped, and this will need to be done at the London hospital.
You are right, Holmes.
So do I go to the hospital now, or... I don't know. Nothing is any clearer.
Another false lead followed by the police, Holmes? Yesterday's Times says that a John Fitzgerald, who had claimed responsibility for the murder of Annie Chapman, has finally been released. He was, it says, lying.
That's of little importance, Watson.
It's incredible. It's been more than 3 weeks since the murderer struck, and the tension is as strong as ever. The press won't stop talking about him, and people are still full of fear.
Odd.
Perhaps the killer got what he wanted, people talking about him, and has chosen to stop committing crimes. What do you think, Holmes?
Nah.
I doubt it, Watson. Everything leads me to believe that he is in hiding and waiting for the right moment. The area is packed with police, and that would obviously hamper his work.
You think he will start again, Holmes?
I have every reason to believe nothing will stop him short of his arrest or his death. Sadly, our investigation has reached a dead end, and I fear that we'll need another victim to get back on track.
Yes, how
Probably.
awful. And what of the case of the burnt mat? Have you resolved that?
Oh, that's a matter of little interest, and resolving will be of no benefit, above all to Miss Fleming. Ha! I hear the footsteps of my faithful Wiggins on the stairs. The game is afoot again, Watson.
Mr. Holmes, the scribbler resurfaced. At last word, Pounce saw him racing to Central News Agency where he works.
Excellent, Wiggins.
Jolly
And still
good.
nothing on the doctor?
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. He's one sleek yank, but we'll find him.
Good work. Here's something for you.
There we go.
I must leave you, Watson. If I can get my hands on this bulling, I will have much more interesting news on the bothersome Tumblety. I have only to change. If you can, Watson, I entreat you to stay here and await my word. We may not be more than two when the time to act comes.
You can count on me, Holmes.
He's like, yeah, I don't mind waiting. What, am I changed? Let's go. Where am I going? Ha.
I must go to the Central News Agency.
Yep.
I'm at the press agency where bulling works.
I don't really want to snoop around.
The fire has almost gone out, but the stove is still burning hot.
Yeah, I kind of don't really want to be nosy until I've got rid of that bloke, because that might cause me issues. Then again,
A mirror.
saying that, it won't...
I would imagine these are compartments to organize the paper's incoming dispatches.
How are they organised when there's no names on them? That looks like a goofy face. Spot the face. Anyway,
What do you want?
It would be very informative to search Bulling's desk before meeting him, but first I must get rid of this bothersome person, perhaps by offering him a scoop.
would you like some strawberry ice cream? This thing?
Good evening. I'm looking for Tom Bulling, the journalist.
He isn't here. He must be
shit.
sleeping off somewhere. He gave me a tip. He wanted to save a scope for me. He always gets a good dirt, and yet when he comes in here, it's just to warm his behind. Look, he pulled his desk over the stove.
So that's Bulling's desk. I have a scoop for you.
Listen, Scoop, I'm bringing it over. Only if Bulling isn't here, I'm leaving.
Wait, what's this scoop?
Bulling promised me a reward for info. There's a charlatan who does spiritualist seances that are a little bit special. He steals corpses from the morgue, puts makeup on them, dresses them up, and then uses them as puppets.
I'll give you your dues. We'll pay you if this info is true.
I'll write down the address of the hideout on the crook's leaflet, but the police will be in on this one, so you better get there in time.
Understood. I'll go alone. Too bad for Bulling.
Hey, you wouldn't have a little something in advance?
Look on Bulling's desk. I know that he always leaves a few coins around for his snitches. Cheers.
A few coins.
Watson won't be pleased that I'm divulging the case, but I don't see any other way.
What the hell was that? An IOU that I can't even read. I don't want to use it. Right, let's search the place. So nothing of interest on these two desks. Nothing of interest here. I've looked at the mirror. I'll have that. I have noticed that one of your employees, Thomas Bulling, arrived at the meeting in a state of inebriation. I know that you are indulgent towards this journalist, but this behaviour is unacceptable. The Assistant Director.
Bulling's boss, Mr. Moore, seems to be protecting the journalist.
That's probably because even though he's a pisshead, he still does his job. That stands out like a sore thumb. I've looked at that. Aha! Right.
This is Bulling's desk, the one closest to the stove. These are
What's
Bulling's
that?
notes. They are of little interest at the moment, but one never knows. A charred match. This may come in handy.
Why do I need the rag?
Some coins. I will take them. That will avoid suspicion if the journalist returns.
Is that it? Permit me to defend myself against the slanderous accusations brought against me. Mr. Bulling spends all his time in the most insalubrious of drinking houses. It is during these visits that I pick up the best information, as that is when I am in direct contact with the common man.
Even handwriting, yet fairly recognizable. The fire has almost gone out, but the stove is still burning hot. Bulling recently used the stove.
So I need to get in there. What about that rag?
A torn piece of blotting paper. Curious, curious. It looks like someone wanted to destroy this piece of blotting paper that had red ink on it. I can make out a few more letters, but backwards. I need something to help me.
The mirror? Get the reflection in it. Telephone.
A telephone, a device that enables you to talk with anyone in London, provided the receiver has a telephone too.
Oh. Okay, so let's try this blotting paper.
By putting this piece of blotting paper in front of the mirror, I can read what is written.
Information on... I could read that anyway. On the Whitechapel killer. Call by telephone. Information on the Whitechapel killer. Make a phone call to Wah.
Apparently, our journalist gets his information by telephone too. Sadly, the name is almost erased.
We just got a wing Wah.
If I telephone one of Bulling's
This
contacts
looks like
pretending
a
to be his
goofy
assistant,
face.
I might learn something of interest.
I'm sorry, what? So, 14... Walesby. There's a picture of that coin, so is it that one? 18... It's kind of this, those two, the picture of the coin and that one's the same, so I'm going to go for 1875. Wow, this is a slow way to type in a phone number. It's a good thing I'm not ringing a mobile. 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that not it? Ah.
Walesby 1875, an ingenious way to save his contact. Central, Walesby 1875, if you will. Thank you, I will wait.
Walesby, I am listening.
Hello, my dear man. I'm calling on behalf of Tom Bulling.
Bulling? So you know where this hypocrite, this liar, this...
Not at all. He is currently
He might not give me
unobtainable.
information
In
if
the
he's in a
meantime,
piss with
he
him.
has left me with a note asking me to pursue his work, and he told me that you were aware.
That's just great. I dropped everything off at his agency, but he didn't even bother to do the same for me. Tell me he at least gave you the information that I was asking in return.
Oh, shit.
I am ready, sir. I'm listening.
Do the police have a suspect for the bizarre theft of cigarettes and carrots that took place at the Commercial Street Market?
So do the police, so that'd be Scotland Yard, have a suspect for the theft of the cigarettes and carrots? Searching for a rabbit. Makes a lot of noise. Scotland Yard, he's never tired. Doesn't go round. Goes round in circles, it could be, actually. Let's go for a rabbit that coughs because of the smoking and...
I think, according to Bulling, that Inspector Lestrade's team is looking for a rabbit with a bad cough.
Ah, damned Bulling. One day he'll be in some serious trouble for mocking the police. And now, can you tell me, with regards to the parliamentary scandal, what did the head of the Whig Party respond to the Tories who were treating him as a great incompetent?
Oh no. Right. So going for Parliament, head of the Tories. Oh, what did they respond? So it's either going to be vote for me or the head of the Tories, he. Unless it's vote for me, I will surely be your best representative. Does that make sense? Or is it the head of the Tories? I don't want to get it wrong. Head of the Tories, he will surely be... With regards to the parliamentary scandal, what did the head of the Whig Party respond to the Tories who are treating him as a great incompetent? So, he's not going to say the head of the Tories will be... He's going to want the votes for himself?
According to Bulling, the head of the Whigs said, "Vote for me, I will be your best representative."
Good. That'll make for a good paper. There is one last question. According to a government social study, civil servants make the best husbands. Why?
Oh my god. So, a civil servant goes around in circles? Oh, why? A civil servant is never tired and has already read the newspaper. Okay, that can't be right. So, civil servant, he is... makes a lot of noise. But then that doesn't make sense as a... Okay, so how about when he comes home from work, he is never tired. Yay.
I believe I can confirm that it is because civil servants aren't tired and have already read the paper when they come home from work.
Very true. Good. It seems like Bulling has finally done his work.
Nope. Or
As
me.
everything is all in order, can you now tell me where the information is that you sent to the agency?
Yes. There is a large brown envelope near the dispatch cabinet. It's in there that we exchange our tips with Bulling.
1,000 thanks. Goodbye, sir.
My salutations to Bulling.
He doesn't give a toss about Bulling. Right. Oh my god. Haha.
There are several documents in this file. Let's see.
Spring Heel Jack, the Terror of London. Fantastical character. First appearance 1837, associated with several attacks and escapades occurring in London. Other parts of England, a hero of cheap penny dreadfuls and theatrical performances. Popular financial success guaranteed.
I wonder why Bulling is studying this tale about Spring Heel Jack so meticulously.
To bring a name. The Terror of London, Spring Heel Jack, the Phantom Killer, the Butcher's Blade, the Whitechapel Butcher, Dr. Death, the London Ripper, the Bleeder, and the Bloody Reaper. He's just trying to come up with a name. That's probably where Jack the Ripper came from.
What does that mean?
Mr. Charles Moore, I thank you for this testimony from the Whitechapel Killer that you advised us to pursue. We shall not forget this. Inspector Aberline. Oh yeah.
Well, well, a piece of information about the murders transmitted exclusively to the police without informing the
Anything
press.
else?
That has piqued my curiosity. Perhaps I should go to the police station to get more information.
Tom, re the letter given Given the thanks received from Inspector Aveline, I think they took the bait, even though they are denying it. Think of the second. We must be ready if he kills again. So they're chatting shit.
What does that mean? I've inspected everything, but there's no sign of bullying. He must have dashed off to his HQ, the Wasp's Nest. However, before I go to see him, I should find out about this mysterious information. It could help me get something out of the journalist. To the police station, then.
It's really helpful when he tells me what to do. I like it. Off to the wee woo station. Off to the wee woo. So Jack the Ripper was just made up by
Let's go to the police station.
some randomer. Why have I stopped?
Come, back again, are we? Come this way, good man. The inspector has a few questions to ask you.
Oh god, that's me in the shit. Am I gonna have to get Sherlock out
Here
of the
is
cells?
the man, Inspector.
Congratulations, Humphreys. So, my lad, one would say that you owe us a bit of an explanation for having left something with us. What is your full name and profession?
Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective.
Well, how about that?
Mr. Holmes, can you explain this get-up, your presence in the neighbourhood despite my instructions, as well as this most opportune restitution of jewels?
Firstly, I should tell you that not being under your command, I never understood what you said as an order, but rather as advice. I thought I would be wise to follow them to a certain extent. I intended to explain the stolen goods sooner or later. My presence here will allow me to fill you in on a few conclusions that...
If it is in regard to the Whitechapel murders, it won't help us much. We have no doubt that we will be revealing the identity of the murderer to the people in the area in a day or two.
I doubt that.
I'm impressed, Inspector, and I offer you my sincerest congratulations. Nonetheless, you should investigate a certain doctor.
Listen, Holmes, let us do our work. You've rid us of a great pain in the rear end by finding those jewels for us. It's weeks of work that you've saved us.
So let me help you now.
But I think you're a little underqualified for a case like that of Jack the Ripper.
Oh, there's the name.
It's over. I demand that you do not set foot in the area. Is that clear?
Bollocks.
I take note of your advice, Inspector. You mentioned Jack the Ripper. Pardon me, but you know the name of the murderer?
Oh, it's from a letter that the Central News Agency sent our way. It was written by the killer. And even if it can't be proven, it must be recognised that the signature is striking. This information is confidential, and I would ask you to keep it to yourself, Holmes.
Nope.
Can I have a little look? Out of mere curiosity, Inspector. Then I shall disappear.
In that case, I don't see any objection.
I think secretly
Thank you
he
so
wants
much.
help. It's got very neat writing. Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet. I have to laugh when they look so clever and talk about being on right track. I hate whores and I shan't stop ripping them apart until I get banged up. I love my work and I want to start again. You will soon hear of me with my funny little games. Haha. In my next job I shall clip the ladies' ears off and send them to the police officers for my own amusement. My knife's so nice and sharp and I want to get to work right away if I get a chance. Good luck, yours, Jack the Ripper. P.S. They're saying I'm a doctor now. Haha. Written in red? That journalist was writing in red. I think he's chatting shit.
Me? Not up to discovering who Jack the Ripper is?
Challenge
Well,
accepted.
we'll soon find out, won't we, Inspector Aberline? I know who wrote the Dear Boss letter signed Jack the Ripper that Inspector Aberline gave me, and above all, I now know why.
Off
This
to see
Tom Bulling
bullying.
was inspired by this fantastical character to build a myth out of the Whitechapel killer. Perhaps he would be receptive if I shared my discovery about him and prevent him from
blackmail.
accusing Squippy. I must find him at once. My best bet would be to try my luck at the pub.
And you know what? We're gonna run. Anyway. Watson!
Ah, Holmes, I got your message, and here I am.
Are you standing on street corners there, Watson? we're going in. Where are you gone? You're not. Haha, hello.
Perfect, Watson. That oaf Bluto is looking for us with evil intentions, and he may be hiding here. I will try to get more information inside. You, Watson, will be our lookout, and at the slightest suspicious sound, do not hesitate to call a constable on his rounds.
Good evening, you pisshead.
Good evening, Mr. Bully.
We know each other?
No.
Yep.
However, I have some information that may be of interest to you.
Talk, my friend. A pint for you if what you say is worth something.
And I'm going to have to pay for it.
Whitechapel murders.
Yes.
Indeed, I know the identity of the man who wrote a letter to the police, a letter entitled Dear Boss, in which the author claims to be the Whitechapel murderer and is signed Jack the Ripper.
What?
It's a journalist who is inspired by Spring-Heeled Jack in order to strengthen the credibility and the seriousness of his agency. This new Jack will give him some first-hand information that he, in turn, will dole out sparingly to the authorities, as well as some carefully distilled indiscretions that the big papers will come to beg of him. He plays both sides off against one another and becomes the chief orchestrator of the rumour. He wrote this letter in this very spot, and he has red ink on his fingers. Like you.
What
Sus.
exactly are you after, my friend?
You've been threatening a certain Squibby to distribute a telegram naming him as a possible suspect in these murders in revenge for an old feud. I would suggest you don't write this note and that you leave Squibby alone.
I'd forgotten about the existence of that rapscallion.
Oh, that
I threw
rapscallion.
that at him when I was visiting the station to get the dope. You should have seen his face.
You must also stop sending these letters that waste the authorities' precious time.
Right, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a great relationship with the Bobbies. Just ask around.
Of course you do.
I don't have to answer to nobody. Now leave me alone.
It's a nice way of saying,
Farewell, sir.
Good riddance.
oh, you pity bastard. Am I permitted to leave?
Hey, you wouldn't be the gas man that Bluto's looking for.
Don't know him.
No, and that is my cue to leave. I do not want to be getting into a fight with Bluto.
Let's hurry to the police station, Watson. We are close to our goal. Squibby will be able to reveal what he knows about Tumblety.
Let's go. Oh, there's Squibby.
So that's it. You're a free man again. We were just coming to the station to find you.
Yeah, the Bobbies agreed to let me go and I came to see Bluto before ferreting you out. So, you've seen the newspaper man?
Yes,
He's in there.
he is in the pub and everything is taken care of, but I'm waiting to hear what you have to say about Dr. Tumblety.
Okay, but we have to be quick. One night, I goes to see Bluto in his hideout that ain't far from the boarding house where this
I've been
Tumblety
there.
bloke has a room. I see him coming in too. He must have been on one real binge. To the point, the Tumblety fella was there, and he smiles at me, all nice like. He tells me he's
He
a great
likes you.
Yankee doctor, but my business interests him. I'm interested, I tell him, but I'm not the type to just jump right in without getting to know a person, see? He invites me around to his room to talk business, just him and me. We empty a bottle or two, and all of a sudden, like, he wants to show me what he's got in this big trunk that he always carts around places. I just about vomited, see? In these jars, just like pickles, you know, there were pieces of meat. And he whispers that it's the lady bits of some old dames.
Oh.
He called them peckymins. I call them love killers, I would. Yuck. After that, he starts to go on about rich folk. They ain't nothing but dogs, and I won't tell you the worst of it. Then he comes all close to me and puts his sweaty hand on my leg.
Oh,
He was one of
he's
them
making
types.
a move.
Not me. I don't wait a second before I give him a good thrashing, and I start running and let go of him, and he still wants to see me again just to talk business. But then I had to do time, so business.
Do you know where he can be found?
Why, ain't he in his digs? Maybe he got to liking life behind bars too. I heard that in some jobs there's a way to.
Thank you for your information, and we'll meet again, my friend. Here is the sum I promised to get you out of London.
Ciao, fella.
I've just got a little score to settle with Bluto, and I'm heading for the country.
Have fun, Squibby. Thank you for your help. Alright, what's happening there?
Go blimey! I'll kill you. Left, right, up to the soccer game. Left, right.
Lipski!
Oh dear.
My dear Watson, we must strike while the iron is hot. We have avoided meeting Dr. Tumblety until now. The time has come to do so.
Do you have an opinion, Holmes?
We must assure ourselves that the factor collector of female organs and a murderer who removes said organs are resident in the same area at the same time is nothing more than coincidence.
Ooh, so is Dr. Tumblety Jack the Ripper. But then again...
I thought that you wouldn't bring me back your keys. Oh, it's you, Mr. Holmes. Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Didn't we just see some guy beating a woman as well?
Indeed, it is I again. One of your tenants left without returning his keys?
Yes, it's Dr. Tumblety
I've got
whom we
changed
spoke
again
about.
now.
Shortly after your last visit here, some constables came and asked me a few questions regarding him. Barely had they left than the doctor came barreling around a street corner and rushed up into his room upstairs. A little while afterwards, while I was tidying, I heard a thud in his room and a rush down the stairs. He left with most of his bags, but without returning his keys.
What a bastard.
You can go up and see if you wish. The door is still open.
Looks like I'm heading upstairs to Dr. Tumblety's room. Okay. Let's go.
Careful, Watson. Do not walk around here until I've inspected these marks.
I
hear
know,
that
Holmes, I
carriage.
know. I understand your methods. Ah, you have your rule and magnifying glass. I thought that you had forgotten them, Holmes.
What?
I never forget the essentials, my dear Watson. Right foot, light trails. The man was running. This isn't water. Going by its sticky texture and odour,
It's
I'd
an
say we're
ostrich.
dealing with formalin.
Or a very happy bird.
Right foot, light trails.
Shut up. So, am I going to measure what size foot he is? Whee! No? Whee!
Size 13.
Oh.
These are the footprints of a tall man who had recently stepped in formalin and who left this room in a hurry.
Well, can I walk on it and enter the room now, Holmes?
You sarcastic little shit. Let's go. Do you have to be in my face all of the time? I do not understand how you have found yourself in this situation. I remember this meeting at which you exclaimed, "Vicksburg is the key. This war will never end until that key is in my pocket, in our pocket. So many dead at Gettysburg have fallen so that the key might be in our pocket the very next day." That don't mean
If this letter
jack
is addressed to him,
shit.
it would appear our doctor is a veteran of the American Civil War. Vicksburg is the key. Now, that is interesting.
Calm down, Sherlock. You're going to give yourself a stroke. Letter found at Tumblety's. Dear Francis, it is impossible for us to meet again. Pursuing our relationship would endanger both my marriage and my reputation. Oh, is it? I would prefer to ignore this passion for fear that it may one day consume me utterly, hoping that the veil of oblivion will enshroud our passionate embraces. Affectionately, Charles. Isn't Charles the name of the director guy from the news agency? My dear Francis, I have learned of your recent brushes with the law, you should be more cautious. Your attraction to young rogues will cost you dearly one of these days. A man of your quality should not frequent hovels and carry his pistol with him everywhere.
This Dr. Tumblety seems to be attracted to men more than women, that much is clear. So, the doctor has a handgun, and he would use it to restrain young men, perhaps. There are a few pieces of a large glass jar in this puddle.
Ew.
The man who left the footprints on the ground must have walked in it while fleeing.
And there is what appears to be a uterus on the floor. What was that noise?
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe.
I didn't...
These brackets are rather unusual. What do you think, Watson?
Let's see, Holmes. These are the names of the battles from the American Civil War.
No. My history is not so good.
I am under the impression that the dates written correspond to the battles, Holmes, but one is missing.
That's probably the one at the bottom. I have no idea what the hell this is. Vicksburg is the key. So many dead at Gettysburg. That doesn't tell me anything.
Going by its size, this enormous trunk must be a wardrobe.
So many dead at Gettysburg. Vicksburg is the key. But that doesn't help me. The morrow, the key. Am I legitimately gonna have to Google these? Because I can't tell you the dates. Or do I just go through these one by one and wing it? 63. Well, that didn't do nothing. I don't even know if I'm right or not. Will I even find anything without looking at a walkthrough? Don't want to look at a walkthrough, but if I type in, this is where it's just balls. For Sumter Battle. 12th of April, 61. Okay. So 12th of April, what did that say? 61. Ah, that kind of opens it. Oh, that's hard. You've got to get them all right for it to open. Oh, good lord. Okay, so... Is it Antietam? Right. So Antietam was 17th of the 9th, 62. So the 2 years so far are... Oh, so the hat must have been right already. Okay, so what would be the next date? Chancellorsville. I don't really want to Google all of them. So we've got 61, 62. But then again, they all end at 65. So I've got 61, 62. So then would it be 2nd to the 5th? 1963. And we know that's not the... Really? Okay, so Gettysburg. So moving along, that'd be the 3rd of the 7th. Oh shit. Because that's the next date. 3rd of the 7th, 63. Balls. So it's not going to be a cowboy hat. I just matched them because they were green. Okay, and then that one's there. So we've got 2nd to the 5th, we've done that one. 17th of the 9th, we've done. 12th of the 4th, we've done. 21st of the 9th, 68. But then that can't be because of that.
Let's see. 5 latches, each fitted with a 6-number combination system.
That was really helpful, thank you. So, 63. So then that'll be 21, 9, 68. So what did I take? 4th of July, 63.
Elementary.
How? Other than Google. I don't deserve that achievement. I googled it.
This is dreadful, Holmes.
Well, I googled the
This
dates.
trunk contains 4 jars in which organs are floating.
Watson, can you tell me at a glance what these organs are?
I would say that they are parts of female reproductive organs.
Are these specimens fresh?
No, and I am quite certain of it. From the colour and appearance, I'd say these organs have been in these jars for several months, if not years.
Let's go to Baker Street.
Off we go.
Is there someone here?
Yes.
Oh no.
What's going on, Finley? You seem to be in a panic.
The 2 police officers wanted to know if someone suspicious had entered here. The Whitechapel killer has struck again.
Ooh.
And if I understood correctly, he killed 2 women in the past few hours.
Where?
I don't know. The police didn't tell me anything.
Quick, Holmes. We must catch up with them.
Certainly not, Watson. Mr. Finley, do you know if the doctor had any other pieces of luggage up there apart from this trunk?
1 or 2, I
Why are we
think.
not going after
Do you
the
take care of the
killer?
doctor's laundry?
My wife does laundry for the tenants once a week. The sheets likewise.
Would you be kind enough to let us know as soon as possible if the doctor shows up again?
Certainly. I'm just worried that he won't be back, you see, and I'm annoyed about my keys.
Holmes, I don't follow. The Whitechapel killer is, at this very moment, very close by, and we are just staying put, twiddling our thumbs.
I
The
see his
Whitechapel
point.
killer has always been nearby. And what will we do? Go back to the scene of the crime or crimes and mix with the onlookers and trample the crime scenes even more? No, our time will come. Let's return to Baker Street.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home.
Right. I suppose he's been told by the other
We were
inspectors
less
to
than
stay
200
away.
feet away from the first victim a few minutes before she was murdered. We might even have heard the murderer's voice. And we haven't done a thing for the past week.
You're the one not doing anything, Watson. For my part, I have been working. And, as you know, I've made good use of this week by tracking down and verifying all of the solid facts on these 2 murders to write up the notes that are on my desk, read them over again and try to gain a bit of perspective.
Alright. Liz Stride at Duckville's yard. Long Liz, 45 years old, height 5'5". Occasional prostitute. Victim was discovered dead by one Louis Daimschutz at 1 o'clock in the morning. The 30th of September, the 2 doctors estimated the time of death to be after 12:46 a.m. Cause of death, hemorrhage due to an injury to the throat. So she's had a throat slit. Site of the discovery was an interior courtyard called Duffield Yard, the doors of which lead into Berners Street in Whitechapel, only inches from the premises, the International Working Men's Club. The meeting ended around 11:30 in American present. That evening stated he was in the courtyard at 12:20. He entered the street but saw nothing. What time did she die? 12:46, right. Two witnesses were quoted by the press: a Constable Smith, who was in his beat in the district on the night in question, a Hungarian by the name of Swartz, who made his statement at the police station accompanied by an interpreter as he does not speak English, and then Catherine Edda, who's 46-year-old, 5 foot, occasional prostitute again, so they're all prostitutes. Victim was found dead at 1:44 a.m. by Constable Watkins. The victim had suffered numerous mutilations. The victim was found stretched out in the dark corner of Mitre Square. Mitre Square was visited at 1:30 a.m. by Constable Watkins proceeding from Mitre Street, and at 1:42 a.m. by Constable Harvey coming from Church Passage. The two constables noticed nothing suspicious in the area, but it should be noted that Constable Harvey did not enter Mitre Square, unlike Constable Watkins. The white apron was found on the corpse with a part of it missing. The missing part was then found at 2:55 a.m. on the night of the murder by Constable Alfred Long, who insists that the object was not present at the time of his earlier patrol at 2:20 a.m. Scrap of blood-stained apron was found in the entrance hall leading to the stairs. Wentworth Model Dwellings at Galston Street. The following inscription was written on chalk to the right of the entrance just above the apron: "The Jews are not the men that will be blamed for nothing." The Wentworth Model Dwellings building being almost exclusively occupied by Israelites, it was decided to erase the inscription before daybreak. So someone's got it in for the Jew community then.
I have read and reread them, but give me something to do then. A task where I can get stuck in, because...
Find me a slaughterhouse that will give us exclusive use of its block for an hour. And find me, in your opinion, which common animal shares the most characteristics with humans from a physiological point of view?
Pig?
I don't even know why I asked that question. Pray, find a dozen fresh pig's heads, Watson. Not big heads, I prefer small ones.
Sows?
That's it, Watson. As soon as you have done that, let me know. I request that you search in Whitechapel. Who knows? Perhaps you will learn something about where Dr. Tumblety may be hiding. There is also no shortage of slaughterhouses and pig's heads in those parts.
Yeah, I remember they did, in CSI, they did a experiment on a pig, because it was the closest. Something to do with combustion, or human combustion. So where am I going now? To find him a pig's head. So is that the local... Is there a butcher's? Maybe I need the beep beep fella. Which he was down by the pet shop and the cobbler's, wasn't he? Don't know if he'll still be there though. Because he sells meat, he might know where I can get.
What a ridiculous idea to have asked Holmes for something to do. Where on earth am I going to find what he wants? Perhaps that kind Lucy will be able to help me.
So to the brothel. It's nowhere near where I need it to be.
I must go to Miss Bella's.
And look where we have ended up, Watson. Lucy!
Good evening, Lucy. But is something wrong?
Good evening, Dr. Watson. Yes, it's my uncle. He's no longer with us.
Please accept my condolences, miss.
Thank you, Doctor. But why are you here? Can I help you?
Yes, you can.
My request may sound rather strange, but do you know if there is a butcher's or slaughterhouse in the area where pigs are killed?
Yes, Fletcher's the man. He was a regular client.
Fletcher.
Owner of a little butcher's shop not far. But Miss Bella didn't want him to come, as long as he didn't treat his awful sickness.
Can you point to his shop on my map?
Certainly.
Fab.
Do you know anything about the 2 latest murders?
Oh, goodness me, no. All the girls in the neighbourhood are terrified. Who will be next? That's what everyone is asking.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Lucy.
Until next time, perhaps, Doctor.
I'm going to make this episode a little longer because I don't feel like we're getting anywhere. Oh, so I was kind of going the right place.
Ah, there's Fletcher's butcher shop.
I still need the beep beep feller.
Closed due to illness. If the proprietor is ill, the butcher's block is probably not being used. Perhaps I can use it. Now, where could a sick butcher have got to?
Well, we didn't have far to wobble. Let's go to the clinic.
Yes, if Fletcher is ill, he should be here.
Great deductions, Watson. Could be any of these.
Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening,
Hello.
Dr. Gibbons. I have come to see you because I was wondering if, by any chance, you happen to have a patient by the name of Fletcher, a butcher who would have relinquished his shop due to illness. An illness caught during nocturnal encounters, if you catch my drift.
Very polite.
Fletcher is one of the regulars at the clinic. Mercury treatment against syphilis. A night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. He left London a fortnight ago for the fresh country air. Why is he of interest to you?
Oh, no reason. I'm more interested in using his shop, only for an hour or so. Would he have left his keys with family in the area?
He has none left, but he must have left Hardiman, the cat's meat seller, to oversee his shop. They're in business. They're good friends.
Do you
I
know
thought
where he
so.
can be found?
No, but wander around the neighbourhood and listen for his beep beeps. He often passes in front of the clinic. Besides,
You're not going to finish that sentence? So, like I said, let's go find the beep beep man. Well, that's not the person I was hoping to see outside the front of the clinic. There's my little fellas going about their duty. And again,
It's me that you're looking for, sweetheart.
it's really not.
Actually, no. I am looking for the cat food seller, Hardiman.
Hardiman? Poor Hardiman. It isn't quitting time for him yet. That gives me some time to wander the streets before he shows up, and with him all the cats hereabouts.
Do you know where he lives?
Sure. And for a copper, I might even tell you.
Here are a few coins.
You're too kind, Governor. Well, these days I knows that he lives with his mammy on Hanbury Street, in the same place where Dark Annie bled to death.
Lovely.
Why did you call him poor Hardiman?
Bah, he's in grieving, of course. Just a few weeks ago he lost his wife. And 3 months before that, his girl, poor fella. He was in tatters. Even came to cry on my shoulder, believe it or not.
I do not believe it, but okay.
Well, I must leave you. I must go to Hanbury Street.
Off we go to Hanbury Street. Are we not getting anywhere? I want to go see the... I don't want to go see the
This
two
is the
bodies,
building
but...
in which poor Annie Chapman was killed.
There's the beep beep. Wingate and John's. And then next door was the cat. Food guy. Mr. Beep Beep!
Beep beep. Hello, are you Mr. Hardiman?
That's me.
I am Dr. Watson. I have come to see you about Fletcher's shop. I would like to use it for an hour or two, if you have the keys and your rates are reasonable.
Do you want to operate on someone in the butcher's?
Not at all. One of my friends needs it to prepare pig's heads.
Well, why not? Fletcher certainly wouldn't mind, but there's a problem.
Always a problem.
A problem? How so?
This morning, the neighbour above broke his key in the door. The old boy must have already had a drink.
So?
Well, I tried my best to unjam it with Fletcher's spare key, which is pretty thin, and bam, that one broke too.
Ugh.
Hard luck. But if you have the end of the broken key, perhaps it can be fixed.
It must still be upstairs. I didn't pick it up. Fletcher has a key too, so I didn't think it was a problem. Fancy if I just had another key with a simpler blade, I could copy it. I'm great at odd jobs.
Fine, I will try to find all of that. Well, see you later then.
Goodbye, sir.
So if he lives along this road, I'm gonna hazard a guess it's one with the cats meet in the window. Oh god, it's really dark. And he said it was upstairs. I can barely see.
Oh, no. But what a... Ah, how dreadful.
He's a butcher. What the hell do you expect?
Kebabs, the same as Hardiman's. So he prepares his meat here. My word, these are innards. This bag contains butcher's equipment.
Look at all the knives. Could Hardiman be Jack the Ripper? Then again, we deduced that he would be strong. I can see you out the windows. He's not exactly very strong, he's quite frail.
Where can I find a key with a simpler blade? On a worthless door, perhaps.
That's all that there is in here. This is out on the back door. This is where Annie was found. Hello.
This key was left inadvertently. Indeed, there is nothing terribly precious inside. But what a stench.
Is that the shitter? So is that it? Do I have to combine them to give them to him? No. Where's the beep beep? If he says there's something missing, I'm gonna be pissed.
Have you found everything I need to remake the key?
I don't know.
There you go. I think you'll manage with all of this.
I'm sure I will, sir.
Ooh, thank
it
God for
won't
that.
take me long.
Say, I think there's some of your business upstairs.
Oh, you're right.
Business.
I ain't had the time to sort it out. Sometimes I'm in such a hurry to prepare my meat that I forget to clean up.
But why do it in the stairwell?
Offal bleeds bucket loads, they do, as you've seen. Now, why would I do that in my own lodgings?
That makes sense.
Of course. But what about your poor neighbours?
They owe it to me, all the times I've helped them out. And I don't have a shop either.
Used the butcher's, now he's not there.
Say, you sell animal meat, isn't that right? Would you know where I could find a dozen small pig's heads?
The guy who gets me my offal should have some.
I'll pay your day's wages if you meet me at Fletcher's butcher shop in 2 hours with the pig's heads. Here's a little advance.
I'll
Just
do
go
my
throwing
best,
your money
Doctor.
about.
The caretaker of another building told us that the place where your mother lives has a reputation for facilitating prostitutes' activities.
Get cold.
Is that true? Sure, the doors are never closed. They come through here like it's Paddington Station. By the way, I heard about your loss. My condolences. Ta, sir. I saw them die slow deaths. My little girl, her face was eaten by the disease.
Oh, no.
Thank you, my friend, and please forgive me for bringing up such painful memories.
So did she have syphilis as well?
Go, I must do my rounds, and I will look for what you've asked for. As for me, I will go and find Holmes.
Was it him?
And we will go to the butcher's together.
Could he
Let's return to
have caught
Fletcher's
syphilis
butcher
and
shop.
give it to his wife and daughter, and then now he's mega pissed and he's killing all the prostitutes because he got it from them? Then again, he looks more upset than angry.
Your heads are on the block inside. Say, you wouldn't be the same chap who bought my whole load the other day.
It's possible, but if you want to continue to do business together, you mustn't speak of my presence in the area to anyone.
Don't worry, my lord. I'll be as quiet as a church mouse.
Here we go. I didn't want to actually talk to you.
What are we doing, Holmes?
I didn't want to talk to you. I wanted to go in the door. Blink.
Holmes, will you explain the reason and rhyme behind this masquerade?
Elementary. We shall conduct an experiment that will allow us to answer a simple question. Does the type of weapon used by the killer correspond to a specific profession?
Jolly good. Let's leave. It smells in here.
And here are our sow's heads. Congratulations, Watson.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Holmes, but what do you really want to do? Take up a collection?
He's already told you. Du-du-du-lu-lu. What did that do?
I need something.
What about your knife? Oh,
There, this door is slightly raised.
now what do you want me to do with it?
There is nothing further to find in this room, Watson. However, I need some knives. Our only hope is behind this door.
Oh, so then do I put the new wheel on there?
Elementary.
Oh, that was easy.
While I prepare our experiment, could you find me 2 knives? A small one, somewhat larger than a pocket knife, with a large, sharp blade. We'll need it to separate the bones and to cut through the thick skins.
Right.
Then find me a long knife that's at least 13 inches long, no shorter, that's sharp and has a thick blade.
Fine, Holmes, but I'd like to tell you about Hardiman. Do you know that he prepares his kebabs himself, and...
That he owns butcher's tools and uses offal? That's obvious, Watson. Pray, take my magnifying glass and my rule and get started, Watson. Find me these 2 knives.
So 2 knives. One long one. Is there anything else in here I can pillage? Ooh. Right.
With the rule, I must find a large knife.
So 13.
Size, 13 inches.
I want that one.
Thanks to the magnifying glass, I can find a small knife that matches Holmes's description.
No bigger than a pocket knife. It's not going to be that one. He's not talking to me though.
Fragments of cartilage. Large size. Fragments of cartilage.
Right. What did he say? Heads are on the block. A small one, somewhat larger than a pocket knife with a large, sharp blade. That one? I mean, he hasn't told me otherwise. Is this them?
Here are the knives you asked for. Be careful, they're awfully sharp. Holmes, I must say that this experiment is making me rather uneasy, comparing animal heads to these poor women.
You're right, Watson, but this somewhat shocking experiment may help to end this massacre and save other victims, you can be sure of that. Look, these pigs' heads are still bloody, which will suit our experiment perfectly. I have a pocket knife and a scalpel with me. With the 2 knives you just brought me, we have a similar array of weapons as those probably used by the killer. We saw 3 types of throat wounds on the deceased attributed to this man. Those intended to slit the throat, those intended to decapitate, and the more superficial yet mortal wound that led to the death of the unfortunate victim in Dutfield's yard, Miss Stride. With the help of these 4 knives, we are going to try to recreate these wounds on the pigs' heads and see what we can establish about the weapon or weapons used. We may also be able to rule out Miss Stride as a victim of the killer of the other 3.
Okay. Oh, piggy wiggy wiggy.
Let's try to use these weapons on this head to obtain a large deep wound to the throat, like those that were noted on 3 of the 4 victims.
It's not going to be the scalpel. Oh, I have to do it here. If I just go, hoda. Shall I write my name? Oh, it's really hard. It's not going to work.
This little knife is very sharp and has a very wide blade.
I'm sorry. What did I just get in a dog hacked off a pig's head? Well, I was just fuck-assing around. Let's go for the big one.
Look, Watson, this knife easily penetrates the flesh.
Okay, so it's definitely that one. That's crap.
The wound is too shallow.
Can't tell now. Hoda.
This pocket knife is very sharp, but its blade is too thin.
Okay, so...
Elementary.
That one as well? Right.
Let's try to decapitate our victim with these tools, knowing that the killer didn't quite manage to do it.
Charming.
Look, Watson, this little knife with a wide base can easily slice the vertebrae of our porcine friend.
Okay, so I reckon it's that one.
The blade of this pocket knife is too thin to reach the vertebrae.
So not that one.
With a scalpel, the wound is too shallow.
So it's going to be this one again, isn't it?
This knife with a long blade easily slices the flesh, but cannot dislocate the vertebrae.
Oh, now I don't know. No? So it's just...
Elementary.
I'm confused. Those 3 weren't good enough to decapitate, whereas the other one did.
Let's see if these knives can inflict a mortal wound in a situation where a single quick blow is given. The scenario in question is that of Dutfield's yard.
So, in one quick blow.
Look, Watson, the blade sinks easily into the flesh.
So it could be that one.
In using the cutting edge of this pocket knife's blade, I can scrape the skin.
So not good enough.
This particularly sharp blade can make a deep gash with one quick slice.
Oh, so it could be that one.
It cuts through the flesh easily as the blade is so sharp.
That's all of them. They can all do damage if stabbed by them.
Look, Watson, the blade sinks easily into the flesh.
Right, so that one definitely.
In using the cutting edge of this pocket knife's blade, I can scrape the skin.
So not that one. I mean, that can cause damage.
This particularly sharp blade can make a deep gash with one quick slice. Elementary.
Right. Select the right knife or knives. That big one was ticked on all three. Top one wasn't in the middle. Second one wasn't on two. The scalpel wasn't on one. The big knife, however, was on all
That's
three.
it, Watson. The big knife.
Way! Big
With
brain!
respect to the opinion of the medical examiners who noted that a butcher's knife with a long blade would have caused the eviscerations on some of the victims, we can assume, Watson, that he only used this type of weapon as it is capable of inflicting all of the wounds displayed. Furthermore, the Dutfield's Yard murder remains attributable, for the moment, to the Whitechapel killer, if we are able to explain why the murderer used his knife in a different manner. Why not go there now? We will try to reenact the killer's actions that night. Our first objective will be to clarify, one way or another, the statements of Constable Smith, as well as this Hungarian by the name of Schwartz. We must also try to find out more about the International Working Men's Educational Club, underneath which the murder took place, perhaps at the Wasp's Nest.
Yes, let's go to Dutfield's Yard or wherever, but quickly. I am in urgent need of fresh air.
I think Watson's going to chunder.
Let's go to the Wasp's Nest.
Go away. It's a moth. Pardon me. Let's go to the Wasp's Nest. Don't do anything. Okay, and I'm gonna leave this episode here, so maybe a little bit of progress made. Now we know what weapon Jack the Ripper is using, and now we can officially call him the Jack the Ripper instead of the Whitechapel Killer. We now have 2 more victims, which we are just about to go and examine and find out. Hopefully then that will bring us closer, and in the next one I am hoping we can find out the identity of Jack the Ripper himself. So on the next video, that is what we're going to do first, and we will see how far we can go. I'm hoping there isn't much more, but we will see. So until then, you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.